everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Law Prep Tutorial, and I am Saket, your mentor. In today's video, we are going to discuss the importance of the basic rules in CLAT when it comes to vocabulary. Let's have a look at the very importance of vocabulary and why do you need to improvise on vocabulary when it comes to CLAT and the other law entrance exams as well. Now understand that since it is all a game of reading and comprehending, so when you focus on vocab, when you improvise your vocab bit by bit, incrementally, then what you gain is that it levels up your reading game. Reading game as in how efficiently and how fast you comprehend. What it also does is that it helps you understand like a pro, from an amateur on a day one to a pro level expertise that you might gain by the end of your journey and on the CLAT day as well. That is where vocab takes you. And understand one more thing, since this is all a game of speed and precision coupled with accuracy and the power to do so in a restricted time limit. Here what will happen is most of the students falter when they understand that vocab is their weak point. Now when you improvise on vocab, what you also improvise on is your speed as well as accuracy, because your way of understanding and your time limit of understanding the passages comes down. That is number 3. Next is a deep dive mode. Now I hope most of the students will relate to this, that very often what happens is that mostly there are passages which you just have a cursory glance at, and then you realize that there are certain hard words, certain high frequency words, and maybe you don't have any idea about it. So what you do is that intentionally you try to just skim and try to answer as few questions as possible. But understand that's not what CLAT demands, and that's not how you are going to make it to the top NLUs. What is required is to go into a deep dive mode, and that is not going to happen until and unless you improvise and work out on your vocab. Next in line is confidence meter. Now understand, where you were faltering with words and the accuracy, speed, everything, there understand just that once you level up in terms of your vocabulary, once you level up in terms of understanding the words based on certain factors, your confidence will improvise. You will see that your scores are improving. You will also understand that your confidence is slowly gradually going up. Next is complex passages handled. Now all those passages which felt like the most exhilarating task or a tedious task, it will seem like a cakewalk. That is what will also happen once you improvise your vocab or work out on vocab. In your logical and legal skills, understand that there are certain words coming from the Latin with Latin roots, Greek roots. Most of these make their way to English. Most of these make their way to legal terminologies also. And most of the times you will find that in logical reasoning section, the passages, they mostly come from editorials or some different sources. Now, what will happen when you work out on your vocab is that you're also activating and also expediting, also understanding the passages from legal as well as logical reasoning easily, as well as, you're going to understand different terminologies related to. For example, if I talk about logical reasoning mein everyone is aware that there is a concept of inference. Ab inference ke liye we have different words like infer, deduce. So that is the way you are going to expand your vocab there as well. Next in line is the key rules or the basic rules for vocab. And how we'll start with is understanding of the word roots. Now understand, agar hum koi bhi word dekhte hain, har word ka there is a basis, there is a storyline, or there is a basis of everything. Similarly for our words, there is a basis, and that is called as word etymology, right? That is how words come into picture. And most of the times you will see that in English, there are certain English words which have either Greek roots or Latin roots. These roots have a certain meaning, and when combined with other words, they give a certain basic essence to the words. For example, let's see, invisible. In invisible, the in here means not, and visible is to see. Combine this in and not, and you understand that it means can't be seen. Similarly, in is not, add to it active. It will become inactive. That is how you push your word game when you come with word roots. And once you have a clear understanding of word root, you are going to become a ninja. You're going to crack these words expeditiously, right? The next in line is prefixes and suffixes. Now understand, prefixes hai, to words ke kahan aega? This will come before your word, and suffixes will come in the end of your word. So, how prefixes and suffixes helps? Let's say we have the word rewrite. Now in rewrite, re means again, and write means simply to write. So when you say rewrite, what you're implying is that you have to write again. Similarly, re plus fresh, which means that getting fresh again. This was about the word with a prefix. Now let's take a suffix also. Biology, psychology. See, bio has to do with and psycho has to do with mind. Bio has to do with life and living organisms. Now this logy, L-O-G-Y. L-O-G-Y is what? L-O-G-Y is from logos, which is the study of something. That is how you can understand the roots as well, and the prefixes and suffixes, and how it affects your understanding of the word. Next is synonyms and antonyms. And when it comes to synonyms and antonyms, the best way to do so is to form cluster of words or go for word clustering. Now having these synonyms and having these antonyms is itself a part of word clustering. How do you do that? Now just understand that when it comes to synonyms and antonyms, there is a certain way, there is a very dry way of saying something. Let's say I want to say that something is nice. I will use the dry term, that is, oh yeah, it's nice. But then I might sound cool if I say, oh, it's delightful, it's enticing. Then the similar word for tired, again, it might come out as a very dry usage of expressing the idea of you getting tired. But assume someone using the word innovated. You would feel like, oh, who's the guy in the room using such a good word? That is how you can go for synonyms and antonyms also. What synonyms does, how synonym will help you is that there are certain words which you might repeat, keep on repeating it, and it might sound dry and static over time. That is how you can sharpen your skill. Next is antonyms. Antonyms ke liye bhi, let's say you know just one antonym or one opposite word of it, expand your vocabulary there as well. And not just that, when it comes to CLAT and when it comes to your mocks as well, you must have noticed that there are numerous questions based on synonyms and antonyms as well. And just to give you a brief glimpse, in 2025 alone, we had 6 vocab questions, which translates to roughly 25% of the paper. That's 1/4. That's the importance. Next is contextual usage. And contextual usage is the most important part here, because even the syllabus, if you go for CLAT official syllabus, the CLAT syllabus itself says that you will have questions based on the contextual usage of a word or contextual application of a word. And what exactly is contextual application or contextual usage? That there is a certain word. Now that certain word has been used in a certain spot in the passage. Find it, spot it, and then understand ki ye word yahan kar kya raha hai, what the author must have thought of before placing the word there. Once you crack it, you will have a fair idea of what the word means. So what ideally you have to do is that you have to find the word, spot the word, and then understand the role that it has in the given sentence. Now, let's use an example. The word is light, and the sentence says, the room was filled with soft light. Sentence 2, he packed a light bag, and let's keep the conversation light. Now understand, the word is same, but in all the 3 sentences, the context differs. In the first one, it is about lightning, illumination, the brightness. The second one is that the bag is light in weight, not so heavy. And the third one is about being casual, that if we say it's a light-hearted comedy, it's a light-hearted conversation, it means that it's casual, it is not so serious. That is how you can come down on the contextual usage part also, and it is something which is of supreme importance when it comes to CLAT. Even the consortium, even the syllabus says that. So just mark this down. Next is confused words or commonly confused words. Now understand the words like complement and complement sound similar. Stationary and stationary eminent and imminent. ये सारे वो words हैं जो sound तो similar करते हैं, but they have got एकदम ही distinct meanings, एकदम ही different meanings. Understand there is a distinction there also. So just in case you might be getting confused, or you might have certain lack of clarity in your mind, and just in case you come across it in the examination or in the mock. So just in case you come across, you should have that clarity that you do not falter anywhere. Right. The next is mnemonics. Now, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है that we come across a lot of things, we come across certain words, we come across a certain idea, and we use some real life examples, we use something that may help us in retaining that. That is exactly what the function of a mnemonic is. I give a very famous example. If at all most of you have seen a particular movie with Amitabh Bachchan as in the role of a principal. Now, there's a word for such a person, and the word is martinet, as in martinet or strict. Now, what I have done is I have related that particular movie and Amitabh Bachchan's strict face to the given word. That is how it has helped me in retaining that. You can also utilize some of any such stories, any tale, anything for that matter, anything which can help you in long-term retention of the word. यहाँ पे we have a word gregarious, and gregarious में you can just understand that there is a person called Greg, and Greg is gregarious, that Greg wants to meet a lot of people, Greg likes to socialize with a lot of people, and that's exactly what gregarious means, someone who loves to talk, someone who loves to socialize. All right. Now, that is it about the strategies or the ways that you can utilize. Now coming to the effective sources or the most important sources that you can utilize in order to enhance your vocab. The very first is usage of books. Books mein, these are the three commonly used books and the most famous ones, wherein we have Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. यहाँ पे you have close to some 45 plus sections. 45 plus sections based on certain ideas, that how to flatter your friends, how to talk about certain things, how to talk about doctors, and many such. Then you have 30 Days to a More Powerful Vocab, which is by Wilfred Funk as well as Norman Lewis, the same author. You can go for that. Then you have 6 Weeks to Words of Power. यहाँ पे you have words based on certain themes or ideas. You can utilize this as well. Next in line is some online hacks. Now in this online world, it would be wrong if I say that you can keep yourself aloof. If you see the very first website or the very first source, that is vocabulary.com. Now vocabulary.com has this excellent feature wherein you can design quizzes. You can design quiz and just go for it. In addition to that, you can also help yourself on any random day by using AI tools as well, like ChatGPT. For example, you can give a prompt to prepare a quiz. Prepare a quiz with, let's say, 10 words that you gave. That is how you can utilize it. In addition to that, you have Magoosh Vocab Builder. It's an excellent source again. Then Anki and Quizlet, these are 2 apps. You can use these as well as an online hack, as an online tool for enhancing your vocab. And some smart sources which are generic enough, but they are not going to leave you at all. They are the golden, for example, the newspapers, magazines, non-fiction books, fiction books, blogs and articles, newspaper, podcast, TED Talks, flashcards. Flashcards ke saath what you can do is you can note certain words and just keep it in an envelope or in your diary. And then you have TED Talks. You can listen to TED Talks, you can listen to podcasts using subtitles. That can help you. Apart from that, newspaper editorial, preferably the Indian Express. It all depends on how proficient your vocab is. And then magazines, non-fiction books or fiction books. One very important thing. You are in the habit of giving mocks. Your mocks have numerous words. Just reverse engineer them. If you do not know, go for the mock analysis. And when you are doing the mock analysis, then pick those words from mocks. When you're seeing the previous year papers as well, go for it. And then if you find the words challenging, just learn, maintain a journal, write them, learn them. And some last minute tips जिसको बिल्कुल नहीं भूलना है, बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ना, is practice regularly. You have your LMS portal, you have a bank of questions, you have 1,000+ questions there. You can go for it. Maintain a journal or all those words that you come across daily. Engage in conversation, even if it is foolish conversation, even if it is a very important one. Even if you find your friends uninteresting and they do not want to take part in it, still find a circle, find people who specifically want to do that. And no matter whether you're using the words in a wrong way or a silly way, just try to do that. And another important part is the journal that you have made, try to revise it regularly. And with the end of the video, I would just like to convey one thing. Most of the times, why we falter, why we fail is that we take English not as a fun thing, but as a as a compulsion that CLAT has offered to us and the 5 sections. But do not take it that way. Try to understand it as something which is, that's a chill game, that's a fun game. I hope that will improvise you, and I hope that will make your interest also elevated, right? With this, I end the video, and just in case you have any question, any query, and any topic which you think is important, let us know in the comment section. We will come up with a video on that. Thank you.